When a bus crashes, you can blame the bus driver, right? The one that's at the steering wheel, right? And this world, using the same analogy, is crashing, man. This world has crashed, and it is crashing again, and it's gonna keep crashing, because the person that's in the helm of the wheel is crashing it, man. Which is Edom. Okay, Edom. All right. Micah 2:1 again, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand, right? Because they are in control. They're in control of the government. They're in control of propaganda, the propaganda machine is highly important in ruling people, all right? Because people's perception and what they believe, is vital, all right, to keeping them in control. It says, and they cover fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. Okay. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, against the family do I devise an evil from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall you go heartily, for this time is evil. All right. So called white man is if this man is not taken out of power, all right, at the end of the day, there won't be a single soul left in this planet. Okay, because he's always looking for ways to bring about destruction. Because he, according to the book of Revelation, he is that red horse. Let me get that. This is why all these diseases and madness is going on in the planet, man. Because this devil pumps, all kinds of diseases. He concocts all kinds of biological malices, in laboratories. Now, Revelation 6:4 says, and there went out another horse that was red, right? And the red signifies trouble, or you see a red light on a traffic light that's warning you to stop, because there's oncoming cars from the other light that turned green, right? It says, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword, and that is the so-called white man. All right, that is the one that was given power, and the horse represents power. Okay, cars, the strength of a car is measured in horsepower. Is telling you that horses signify strength, power, because they're very strong animals. Okay, so the so-called white man has the power. All right, and he's the one that is allowing and is also creating the ruckus that's in the world. All right, you got everybody on some type of problem, on some type of medicine, and they're the biggest drug dealers, because the pharmaceutical companies are the one that benefit the greatest out of people's suffering. People's suffering bring forth money, and it only makes the rich richer. Okay, and this is under the watch of the so-called white man. Now, in our kingdom, none of that shit's gonna be happening, man. All right, there's there's not gonna be such thing as a painkiller. There's not gonna be such thing as Tylenol, ibuprofen, Motrin, NyQuil, because the Lord gave specific instruction on how to rule the earth, and we're gonna go back to those instructions. Now, the white man was put in place so that the world could see what it's like to be without those instructions, to live outside of those instructions. I always equate that, with the, because I go to the gym, of course, but if you see gym equipment, it has a label on it, and it tells you, how the machine should be operated, right? But it also tells you, if you do not follow the instruction, it says life injury or death may occur. Okay. If you read all gym equipment has those stickers, possible life injury or death may occur, right? It gives you the warning, you see, and that's exactly what the Lord did, man. The Lord gave us the warning by bringing the so-called white man into power, showing the world what it's like, to live outside of his law, statutes, and commandments. It is nothing but death, life injury and death. All right. Let me see if I can find this precept. Just bear with me. It's Isaiah 40:31. It says, "But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint." Right? And the reason for that is because, number one, our bodies are going to be changed in the twinkling of an eye, right? But the kingdom will be set up here on heaven, all right? And even these heathen nations, their bodies are going to function at 100 and at the maximum performance, because they're not going to be invaded with all these toxins, like the article, with the article here, all right? Oh, the article went away. Shit. But the article, going into the toxins of that are found in plastic, right? That was what the article was about, anyways. So going into the article of the harmful chemical that's in plastic, that's not gonna be existing in the kingdom, man. There's not gonna be no barium oxide being sprayed in the sky, which that's what these planes emit, barium oxide. All right, that's them chemtrails that you see, them pillars of cloud behind the planes. The line of clouds. Those are barium oxide. That eventually falls on the population and it weakens your immune system. All right, there's not gonna be no more pesticides, GMOs. There's not gonna be no more laboratories and fusing in micro infusing bacterias and biological biological life, microscopic life. No, it's not gonna be none of that, man. All right, this is why their bodies are gonna even these heathens, they're gonna be happy, man, when we in power. Let me get that real quick. When the wicked, see that? Proverbs 29:2, right? When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. This is why you are taking these painkillers. This is why you're taking lisinopril for your high blood pressure, ACE inhibitors for your high blood pressure, all right, for your endocrine problems and all kinds of problems that are brought, on your body, all kind of ailments, man. Because the so-called white man has created a state of hell, and a lot of it has to do with the foods that you eat, and not to mention the fact that this man doesn't give the land a rest. So the land, when it brings forth fruit, the fruit that it brings, it's not it doesn't have all the nutrients in it like it used to, because it's been so deprived, it's been abused. This man tills the land 7 days a week. It could be winter and you can still go to the grocery store and get yourself some strawberries, or grapes, and that's out of season, but even though they bring it from, with trucks from other states, but still, the point being is that, this man will till the land 24/7. Fracking, it's another thing. Drilling all the way down to the to get the oil that's in the crust of the earth, which is the lubricator. And then you got these massive earthquakes that are happening. You name it, man. This man is destroying the earth, man. This guy is destroying the earth. Let me grab this. All right. And not to mention lumberjacking. All right. Lumberjacking is a big problem because, since we come from the earth, right? Man, Ayash, in the Hebrew, we come from the earth, so we have to be in harmony with the earth. All right. We come from water. The water is, from the earth. So we have to be in harmony. So these trees are in harmony with our breathing. It's common sense, but this man will go down and chop up complete rainforest, set ablaze rainforest, set them on fire on purpose, right? Now, this is Revelations 11:18. And the nations were angry, and the wrath is come in the time of the dead. And why are these nations going to be angry with the so-called white man? Why? Because they're going to soon know that he did deceive them. He's the great deceived them. All right. He's the great deceiver. All right. Everywhere this man goes, everything behind him goes to shit, man. Says, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldst give his reward unto thy servants and prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldst destroy them which destroyed the earth. And the them is the so-called white man, also known as the nation of Edom, because they're the ones that are actively destroying the earth with everything that I mentioned prior to me reading this. Okay. And with what I started out with that article, you know, going into the poison that's in the plastic, you know, you should really be using, containers made of glass, okay, or Pyrex. You got Pyrex. They're a little bit more pricey, but you know, you shouldn't be using plastic containers. And I'm a victim of it. I do it myself sometimes. You know, I have plastic containers, and I hate it because of the BPA content and the other toxic chemical that's in it, especially when you heat it up, when you leave it in the sun. You know, these water bottles, you know, they all contain all that harmful chemical, you know, which makes men produce more estrogen. You know, you notice, if you notice your pectorals, right? You can notice, you know, sometimes you notice them like puffy. I don't know, some people, you know, some people get pain there. That's because their estrogen levels are high, you know. Their estrogen levels are high because of these chemicals that are found in these containers, man. All right. And who's to blame? Again, Esau, Edom, man. Esau, Edom. He is the devil the Bible speaks of, man. Ain't no question about it. All you got to do is follow the history, you know, follow the track, you know, the killings, you know, his body counts through the roof, the world wars, all the wars that, see, in our kingdom, there's going to be no wars, you know, because first and foremost, you heathens are not going to have weapons, okay? You heathens, all the weapons are going to be taken away from you. All right, and you're gonna look up to Zion, man, which the word Zion is Tazion, which means monument, because we're gonna be the example of how you heathens should live, and you're gonna live with each other as the law said, man. All right, as the law said, you're gonna know what it is to give the land a Sabbath. You're gonna have a Sabbath. All right, your body's gonna rest for a day, you know, and as well, you're gonna deal righteously with your brother, and like I said, I always mention, a nation is composed of a lineage of people. You know, peoples make nations, not lands, not landmarks, but people. All right. So if the people aren't living together in unison, as the Bible said, right? Then by default, the nation will crumble. The Lord said it. If a house be divided, how can that house stand, right? So the Yasharallah is a people before it was named, and is a people before it was a land. All right. So if we're not together, we're the pillars, right? Our house cannot stand. And this is why the Lord came down and he washed his disciples' feet. He was teaching a very important lesson, which was what? That we are each other as keepers, man. We are the pillars that hold the nation of Israel together. All right, and this is what's going to make our kingdom so great and marvelous, because Esau, he lives completely outside of that. You know, the scriptures call him profane, which the word profane means outside of the temple. All right, he's profane. He lives outside of the expectations of the Heavenly Father. All right, and this is why his kingdom is crumbling. This is why that democracy shit does not work. The worst form of government, you know, capitalism, a capitalist society doesn't work. You're gonna have all kind of chaos and ruckus. And I could make a 3 hour, 4, 5, 6 hour long lesson going into just capitalism and dissecting the troubles and the problems with a capitalist society and a democratic society. You know, you look, take a look at marriage. You can take a look at the children, take a look at the people. Take a look at what's going on today, and you can clearly see with your eyes that what I'm saying and what the head apostles from GMS on down are saying is to be true. All right, and the only people in the helm of this shit, the culprit, the root of the problem, is Esau Edom. All right, Esau Edom, aka the so-called white man. This is why